Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm outside, it's cool and crisp and I'm loving the fall weather, but I will apologize. There's some construction going on over here, and if you hear the banging in the background, that's what it is. But I don't know, I just wanted to be outside today. It's just so beautiful and cold and I love it. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I want to read in November. This is going to be a really short TBR because October was a little bit hectic at my house. We are still under construction, and so there were drywallers in our house every day for the past month pretty much until like 7 or 8, which I'm so thankful that they were working so hard, but it just added a little to the chaos and I didn't get a lot of reading done. So I'm going to transfer all of the books that I didn't get to in October over to November, which is why my November TBR is quite small, but let's get right into it. So at the beginning of the year, I chose 2 classics a month that I wanted to read throughout the year. I've done a great job keeping up with that and I've really enjoyed it. So the first book I want to get to is a classic, The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, and I had no idea what this book was about before I just read the back of it. I knew it was kind of creepy, but that's all I knew about it. But this sounds really creepy. It's about a young woman and she is a governess and she is in this estate and she's trying to protect these 2 children from like evil things that are really interested in these children, but to her horror, the children are just as interested in these evil things as they are them. So I guess it's making her job of protecting them quite difficult. So I'm excited to read this and I'm hoping it's not going to be too creepy for me, but we'll see. The next classic that I've picked up in November is Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. I've never read an Anne Bronte book, so this will be my first. I'm really excited about it. I believe this is also a book about a governess, and she is having to navigate how to be a governess, and I guess it doesn't really live up to her expectations and how she comes to terms with that. But this comes highly recommended, so I'm excited to jump into this one in November. Okay, for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, the prompt for November was a book that intimidates you, and this book has been sitting on my shelf since my husband went to college and had to read it for an English class that he had to take, and I have not picked it up because it intimidates me. So that book is Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky, and I've never read a book by him, and so that intimidates me a little bit. But also, there's no synopsis on the back of this book. It just tells about this particular edition of the book. So I was Googling a little bit to try to find a little bit about this book because I have no idea what it's about, and I guess it's just like a first-person narrative that talks about like a man that's too conscious, I think is what it said. I don't know. But then I'm Googling as I'm Googling, people are like, this is the most difficult Dostoevsky book ever. Like, this is the most difficult to understand that he's read or written and all this stuff. So now I'm even more intimidated by this book. Thankfully it's short. And there are tons, I guess because this is a student, like a critical edition, there are tons of footnotes and different essays that I can read if I need help. Oh, actually, wait a minute, this book isn't even that long at all. Okay, well that's not so intimidating then, because this right here is the book, and then all of this are like backgrounds and sources and different letters and different essays from other people, I guess, about the book. So that makes me feel a little bit better that it's not quite so long. But anyway, so I'm excited to get into this one as well. It is Nonfiction November, and I have been trying to read 1 nonfiction book a month. So my nonfiction book for the month of November is going to be Outliers, The Story of Success. And this, from what I gather, is the author, I guess, interviewed or maybe researched the lives of outliers. So people that their achievements fall outside normal experience, overachievers, underachievers, I guess, I don't know, and how they became successful. And it sounds really interesting because it says, along the way, Gladwell reveals what the Beatles and Bill Gates have in common, the reason you've never heard of the smartest man in the world, why almost no star hockey players are born in the fall, and why, when it comes to plane crashes, where the pilots are born matters as much as how well they are trained. So that just seems really fascinating to me. Like, how are those things correlated? I don't know, but I will find out when I read this, and I'm looking forward to it. So our in-person book club also picked up a nonfiction book for the month of November. I don't recall that it was actually on purpose for nonfiction November. It was just one of the people in the book club, their favorite read last year, and so we thought, well, hey, why not? And I'm really excited about this one, and that is The Shepherd's Life by James Rebanks. And this just sounds so good. It's giving kind of, and not Animal Farm, All Creatures Great and Small vibes. It's giving, like, I don't know, it just sounds really cozy. And there's this one sentence on the back that I read and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good one for me. And it says, many memoirs are of people working desperately hard to leave a place. This is the story of someone trying desperately hard to stay. And I guess he's just talking about his life as a shepherd in rural England. And I don't know, I'm really excited about it. So I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, so this is the last book that's going to be on this TBR, and this is The Lost Metal, the final Era 2 Mistborn novel. I've been reading along with Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia, her Mist Along, and this is the month that we're going to read The Lost Metal, and I'm really excited about it. Actually, is it the month that we're going to read The Lost Metal? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they're reading it in December because maybe they're reading a few of the novellas in November, but I feel like it's in November. If not, that's okay. I'm still going to read it in November because I have a lot of other books that I want to get to in December to kind of finish out the year. So anyway, I have been loving my time rereading the second era, especially of Mistborn, and I read this book for the first time before I had ever read the Stormlight Archive. I've read none of those books yet, and apparently I missed a ton of Easter eggs that are in this book from the Stormlight Archive. So I'm excited to reread this with the knowledge that I now have of those books and see what I think. I think I'll enjoy it even more than I did the first one, or the first time I read it, because of those little Easter eggs sprinkled throughout. So we'll see. So that's it. Those are all the books that I hope to get to in November. Like I said, it's not really a long TBR, and thankfully most of them outside of this book are rather short, so it will leave me plenty of time to finish up the books that I didn't get to in October. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.